Hello, good afternoon. This is Chuck. That's me, Chuck, coming to you from Chuckadelphia with another mini lesson. And today I wanted to talk to you about the words say versus tell. Okay? These words can be confusing, but it's important to know that they have some similarities. For one thing, they're both irregular verbs. Okay? And sometimes when you use them, they can be interchangeable. However, they also have some distinct structures that you have to follow. They also have unique special expressions with them as well. So, again, this is Chuck, and let me take you into our lesson. Okay, so we're going to start off with the word say, right? Let's talk about the pronunciation here. So, the pronunciation is I say, you say, we say, okay? And then when we go into the third person, the pronunciation is says, he says, she says, it says. If you like Jane's Addiction, you know the song Jane Says. Jane says, I'm done with Sergio. Well, if you don't know that song, you should check it out. It's a classic song. Okay? And then we go back to they say, and the negative would be you don't say or you do not say. I didn't say. Now, let's go into the past again, okay? You do not want to say I said or I have said, all right? This word is pronounced the same way a Spanish speaker would say said, like when they're thirsty. Tengo said. This word is pronounced I said. I have said, right? And then for the future, you would say I will say or I am going to say. So the pronunciation is similar in the different structures and different forms. All right. Now you want to know that say takes an object, right? And usually the object is what someone said, right? If we use quoted speech is when we say something that exactly how someone said it, right? So let's imagine she said, I am okay, right? That's exactly how she said it. I am okay. A quoted speech would be, she said, comma, quotation marks, I am okay, period, quotation marks, quoted speech, right? And sometimes we adapt the way that someone says something and we use something that is called reported speech. So when she initially says it, she says, I am okay. So if you want to say exactly how they said it, use quoted speech. But if you change it, you would say, she said she was okay, right? And sometimes you could also say, she said to me she was okay, all right? Do not use say like this, right? You don't want to say me or say me that. In other words, let's see this expression here, these examples, okay? You would not say, he said me he was okay, or she said me that she was okay. This is incorrect. All right. Just as you would send an email to someone, you would also say something to someone, right? The preposition to indicates to whom the statement is going. All right. So that's very important. Again, you would say something like, I said I would meet you at the movies at 7 o'clock. Or she said she would meet me at the restaurant at 7 o'clock. Tom said he was not coming to school tomorrow. Okay. Now, we'll talk about quoted speech and reported speech at another time in a little more detail. But today we're focusing on say and tell. And let's go into tell, right? Well, before we get into tell, let's talk about some special expressions with say. All right, so sometimes you might hear people say, about to say, right? And that's simply like, to almost say something before something or someone interrupts you. So imagine I was getting ready to tell you about something I wanted to tell you. Okay? Let's say you sneezed, right? You say, achoo. And I start to say bless you, but then the phone rang. So I might say, I was about to say bless you before the phone rang. So that action interrupts what I was about to say. Okay? Uh, I was about to say, you are the love of my life before my ex girlfriend called. Right? That's another way to say that. Some other expressions can or can't say for sure or for certain. I can't say for sure that Joe is a good person. That means I have doubts about what I'm going to say. Okay, when we say I can't say without, a level of confidence. Same thing with I can say. I can say for certain that I will be there on time. That means I know for sure 100% that I will be there on time. Sometimes you might hear say a few words. This is a phrase that is used when someone wants to say something about someone or something. It's usually said at the start of the speech. Okay, you'll probably hear this a lot at a wedding when the best man or the maid of honor wants to say something about, the guests of the evening, the special couple of the evening, right? One time I gave a speech about my brother. I said I would like to say a few words about my brother. All right. Sometimes, if you have to give bad information, something you don't want to say, something that the listener doesn't want to hear, you would say, I hate to say. I hate to say it, but your husband is right. I hate to say this, but you are fired. I hate to say it, but maybe we should pay $1,000 to fix the garage or something like that. Something you don't really want to say. Now, of course, there are many other expressions with say, but these are some of the most common. Okay. If you want to look into it a little more, you could also ask Google for some special expressions with say. Now let's get into tell, right? And here's the difference between tell and say. Tell is usually followed by an object, right? So I want you to see these examples here, and let me tell you the pronunciation here. I tell you, you tell me, we tell him, he, she, it tells us, I don't tell her, right? And then I didn't tell her, I told her, I have told her, right? And the reason I did this is because this is the main difference between tell and say. Say is usually followed by what someone wants to say, whereas tell is followed by the person that is receiving the information, right? So usually the object is who or what someone is saying to something to. She told me she was okay. He said, I'm looking for a new job. Now remember, that's quoted speech, right, with the quotation marks. But if we want to report it, we would say, he told me he was looking for a new job, right? And sometimes tell is followed by an object and an infinitive to give instructions. So in the active structure, this is when the subject is in control of the action. He told the class to complete the homework, not he said the class to complete the homework, right? Because the class is who's receiving the information, right? So you want to make sure you see the difference between say and tell. All right. And sometimes say and tell are interchangeable. Okay. So when you have say to, that can mean the same thing. That can have the similar structure as tell with the object. Chuck said to me that he would finish the project on time. Or you could say, Chuck told me that he would finish the project on time. Now, these two structures mean the same thing. They're interchangeable. The difference is to. Okay. I will say this, tell followed by the person and then what you want to say is probably more common. But if you're used to saying say to express the same thing, you can do that, but use to in with it, okay? So there are some common expressions, special expressions with tell, and I'm sure you've heard many of these. Perhaps you've heard tell on someone. If you've ever seen a mafia movie, where they rat on someone or they snitch, they tell on someone who's talking to the FBI or the police. When someone is sharing information about someone else to authority, it could be a teacher, a boss, the FBI, the police, or something, you would tell on them. Okay, and we see the example here. I used my cell phone in class, and I thought that nobody else knew about it, but I got in trouble because Scott told on me to the teacher about my using my cell phone in class. Okay, it's basically to report on someone to authority. To tell off, this is pretty good. If someone is aggravating you, bothering you, making you angry, you can say, you can Tell them how you feel. You can say, "Shut up, leave me alone. You're being a jerk." Okay, and when you do something like that, you're showing your displeasure in their actions or their words. And in that aspect, you're saying you're telling them off. I was tired of Joe's lies at work, so I told him off. All right, now this next line, these expressions are the ones that are probably more commonly used. Most commonly used with tell. Tell a joke. You would say you tell a joke, not say a joke. Tell a lie, not say a lie. Tell the truth. Be honest with me. Don't say the truth. You want to tell the truth. Tell the future. To predict the future. Tell someone the time. Excuse me, could you tell me the time, please? Yes, the time is 4:11. Okay. Tell a secret. Can you tell me a secret? Tell tales is to tell stories. Okay. Sometimes tell tales is more like gossip or rumors about someone. Okay. Tell how. This is a common structure to give someone instructions on how they should do something. Okay. And make sure you take note of this structure with an infinitive. Tell me how to get to Sesame Street. Right? Tell me how to cook scrambled eggs. Could you tell me how to finish this report, please? Things of that nature, okay? And then finally, tell the difference. This is to be able to identify the ways that things are different between two or more people or things, all right? So, for example, Peter can tell the difference between Coke and Pepsi. How about you? Can you tell the difference between Sprite and 7 Up? Can you tell the difference between Gatorade and Powerade? Wouldn't it be something if there wasn't really a difference at all, and maybe they were all owned by the same company and they just confused us, and they know how to sell their product to us by making us think there's a competition? Oh well, that's for some other presentation on some other day. Well, that is all for today. I am Chuck, coming to you from Chuckadelphia for Infinite English Academy, and I thank you for your time. And please make sure you subscribe to my channel and click on the notifications bell, and that way you get notified anytime that I upload any more lessons like this or any other tips. I appreciate your time, and thank you very much. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the comment box below. Okay? Have a great day. Ciao, ciao.